Hello, I'm John Bachman. The presidential field is growing today. Florida Senator Marco Rubio expected to announce his candidacy this afternoon. He has an event planned for downtown Miami, and then he'll headline fundraisers in New York and Boston later this week. Of course, all this comes the day after Hillary Clinton made a widely expected announcement.
Everyday Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion.
Well, she's launching her own presidential bid with this video. It was released online yesterday afternoon. Reaction swift from a number of Republicans.
She doesn't have a track record of leadership or trustworthiness. She's not the woman for the White House.
Does America want a third Obama term? Or are we ready for strong conservative leadership to make America great again?
Better than their failed big government policies that grow our debt and stand in the way of real economic growth and prosperity.
Also, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker slammed Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State on Twitter. This week could be a critical one for the Iran nuclear talks. Tomorrow, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee is expected to vote on a bill backed by Committee Chair Bob Corker, giving Congress oversight of any deal. He's still trying to put together the votes needed to fend off an expected White House veto. Corker would need 13 Democrats to join all of the Senate Republicans. In North Carolina, a college is on lockdown right now after a shooting in the school's library. One person has reportedly been killed at the Wayne County Community College. That's in Greensboro, North Carolina. Police are still searching for the gunman. We'll keep you posted on what comes up with that. And tragedy in Milwaukee. 2 people were killed in a shooting that followed a traffic accident yesterday. Police say the driver hit and killed a 2-year-old girl. In the aftermath, the driver of that van was shot. A 15-year-old boy was also shot and killed at the scene. And we are now seeing video from what may have been a deadly mistake by a police officer in Tulsa earlier this month. That was a gunshot fired by Reserve Deputy Bob Bates during an arrest. 44-year-old Eric Harris was on the ground struggling with deputies when Bates says he thought he was pulling out his taser. Instead, he actually pulled out his firearm. Harris later died. And that police officer who shot and killed Walter Scott in North Charleston, South Carolina, said afterwards that he was in the midst of an adrenaline rush. That is coming from the same video that showed the shooting of Scott and led to murder charges against the now fired officer Michael Slager. He's also heard taking a phone call telling the person on the other end that Scott tried to grab his taser. Of course, much scrutiny there. And for years, it has been believed to be the only photograph of the old Confederate ironclad, the CSS Georgia. Now we know that picture, it's a fake. 30 years ago, Savannah native John Potter told the story about taking the snapshot of this picture during a flea market, which he then sent to historical groups. And now he admits there was no original picture. It was something he and his brother made up using a model in an old antique frame. We'll have another Newsmax Now update coming up for you in about 30 minutes. I'm John Bachman. We'll now turn it over to Ed Berliner for Midpoint.